All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Thunderbird Coaches Show. I'm your host, Spencer McLaughlin. Tracy Mason, our women's basketball coach, is here as well. Sierra Chambers is our student athlete today. Welcome inside wonderful Cafe Sabor. As always, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Cafe Sabor, for hosting us and keeping us fed and refreshed as always. So, Coach, couple of wins in in-state battles last week as we just dive right into what's been going on with the Thunderbirds. We'll get to the rough patch a little, but after the 2 straight wins, how are you feeling about your basketball team right now?
Good. I'm excited. I mean, I think UVU was a tough win on the road, and I think a good kind of bounce-back game for us and kind of set us up for Utah Tech at home. So I think we're feeling pretty good right now. Definitely things we always want to build on and continue to get better, but overall I feel like we're in a good place.
Sierra, you guys go 2-0 against Utah Valley. You'll have a third matchup with them later this season as well. But go back to that game on Thursday in Orem. What did it take to get that done?
I think just pursuing through it and following our game plan, and then I think just being consistent throughout the game. Like, I know they took the lead for a bit, and then we took the lead back. So I think just staying consistent throughout the whole game. One
thing that's been consistent, you're on the floor a lot. This might be the most well-conditioned athlete on SUU's campus. I don't know who second place would be unless you were to look perhaps to the track and field team. You could probably get some competition with the track and field team, but more than once this year, you've played every single minute of a game. How are you able to do that?
I don't know. I think I think the adrenaline keeps me going sometimes, but I think I think of next play every single time and looking forward to that next time out.
Coach, have you had a player like her before that you could just leave out there for 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes
played,
as well.
Yes. It's funny. Jay and Al sometimes give me a hard time, like, let's get Sia sub. And I'm like, why? She's not tired. And, it'll be the fourth quarter. We're in a timeout, and I'm kind of looking around, and everyone's huffing and puffing, and Sierra's just sitting there like, okay, what's the plan? Just like we started the game. No, it's pretty remarkable. And honestly, she came in that way. Like, she worked really hard before she got here to be in great shape. And so she hasn't skipped a beat. I mean, it's been pretty cool to see.
Coach, you guys are in the middle of conference play right now, like really right in the thick of it. Still a ways to go to the conference tournament, but you've seen everybody once at this point. What have been, this is one of our Pizza Hut, Pizza My Mind questions for today. What's your impression of the league so far now that you've seen everybody at least once?
I think travel is hard. I think everybody kind of talks about that, just the schedule and the way the schedule is set up, that travel can be difficult. So you got to be ready to go on the road. The second thing is I think anyone can beat anyone on any night. You got to be locked in. You got to be ready. You got to be willing to make some adjustments. And, we talk about it as a coaching staff like it's a game of chess. And we're trying to figure out what they're going to change. We're trying to figure out how we want to change. And it makes it fun. But, at the end of the day, too, playing each other 3 times, like, there's some heated rivalries going on, and it's fun to even sit back and watch some of these games being played. But I think overall the conference, there's a lot of parity,
And you guys went through the difficulty of traveling, going to Texas, took a couple of losses there. After you guys got off to that hot start, you lost 3 straight games. Of course, the thriller against California Baptist, which was just an unbelievable game that you guys had until that final moment there and in overtime. And then you go to Texas and drop 2 straight. What did you learn about your basketball team handling all that adversity?
Yeah, I mean, it was like we did go through, I think, a tough stretch, and we talked about it. There's going to be trials throughout the season, and how we bounce back from them is really kind of what defines us. And I thought we handled it well. I don't think we anticipated those 2 Texas games going as rough as they did. But I think we came back together, we regrouped, and, we kind of sat down as a coaching staff, too, and talked about some things that we'd kind of gotten away from and kind of made practice really competitive that week, and I think got us back on track.
Sierra is one of the leaders on this team. How did you guys go from losing 3 straight to coming back and beating back-to-back in-state games, which is always the most important game, as we know. Got to win the in-state games, especially at home, and you guys have done that to the tune of 4-0 against UVU and Utah Tech so far. But off the 3-game skid, how did you get your team back on track?
I think just reflecting on ourselves and going back to our goals that we made initially in the beginning of the season. And I think a big part of it was just sticking together. And I think coming off those 3 losses and then going on to our 2 wins shows that this team has a lot of grit and that we can stick together even when we're losing.
How do you stay locked in and, at this point with, so many games left, so many games under your belt to this point as well? with the road trip and how tough it can be in this conference, how do you and the rest of your teammates as well stay focused and stay just committed to whatever happens on the next play?
I think, again, I said this previously, but just next game, next play mentality. Like, you can't really control if you lost like in the past, but you can always control like the outcome of the next game.
Coach, when you went up to Utah Valley last week, it always seems just with the style that the Wolverines play, they turn you over a lot. And you guys just keep finding ways to win. They're now 3-0 are the Thunderbirds. In the last 2 years, when turning the ball over against Utah Valley at least 25 times. I don't think there is another opponent that you've had that many turnovers against and wound up winning the game. There's just something about those UVU matchups, isn't there?
And honestly, they're one of the top teams in the country in forcing turnovers and getting steals. And it's their defense. It's the way it's designed. I mean, it is tough. Yeah, and I mean, it's not just us. You know, you look around the conference, like they're forcing that with everyone, and it's a tough little half-court trap. And you know, you try to be as prepared as possible, but we don't play it, and so it's really difficult for us to kind of mimic what they're going to do. But I think the biggest piece is just, you know, staying calm and understanding like where the openings are going to be. And the problem is if you don't get it quick enough, if you don't get it there quick enough, then you're kind of stuck and you're in a tough spot. And so then you're trying to get yourself out of it. And, you know, I think that's where we turn the ball over quite a bit. So there's kind of this fine window of finding the opening, but we get to do it one more time, so we'll get one more opportunity.
At least one more time.
So you're telling me right now we need to turn the ball over 25 times.
Next time you play UVU, it's number one key to the game. I'm going to lay it out very clear in the broadcast. That is going to be key number one. It's just three times at this point is a trend.
Pretty crazy, yeah.
As you continue working through conference play, talk about your team at both ends of the floor, because we've seen your team erupt for big offensive performances, and then like Saturday against Utah Tech, a little bit more of a slugfest, a little bit more of a defensive struggle. Start at the offensive end, what you like about your team right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're finding ways to score now that, you know, initially I think we pushed the ball a lot. Transition was kind of our thing. I think we're figuring out ways to score now more in the half court, which has been good, and hopefully we can figure out how to put the two together. I think the game plan for teams coming in to play us is to slow us down, because I think that we were a high-powered offense to start the season, and we would get out and run, and we like to play fast. And, you know, we have post players that are going to run the floor, guards that are going to run the floor. And so I think we've seen a lot of full-court pressure just to slow us down. And it's changed things a little bit, and so we have to figure out how to, like I said, be more aggressive in the half court. I thought against Utah Tech we did a great job of getting to the free throw line in the second half and just being more aggressive, getting into the paint to get paint touches, and then, you know, kickouts from there. And then you're going to see shots fall if we can do that. So I think initially sometimes we get kind of wrapped up in shooting the three, and we have great shooters, and we're going to figure that piece out. But I think, you know, our game is getting to the basket and getting scores there.
Sierra, you're, of course, the lead conductor of this Southern Utah offense. What do you feel is working for your team at that end right now?
As Coach Tracy said, like, I think a lot of teams are slowing down our transition. So I think our 4-out and our half-court motion has been working really well for us. And I think just cutting and moving as much as possible puts more pressure on the defense and opens a lot more for us as well.
Coach, let's talk about the last game as well against that team down south that came up for the second time to the AFEC. You beat them once again. Was a battle through the first quarter, in the second quarter as well, through most of that half, and then in the third quarter, it felt like for the second straight game against Trailblazers, you really started to pull away. Yeah,
I think we were settling a little bit in the first half, and like I said, I thought we did a better job of getting to the free throw line. Just we're a little bit more aggressive in that second half. We switched some things. You know, they play a 5-out that everyone on the court can shoot the three. So we tried to switch some things, and, you know, we mucked that up a couple times. But I think overall, you know, having a day in between to prepare for your next opponent is always a little bit of a challenge. But I thought we did a good job, and we were set up and ready to go. And we talked about some adjustments that we needed at halftime, and I think you know, getting on the offensive glass was huge, and getting to the free throw line was huge.
That game was 25-23 at the half, if I remember correctly. What do you like about your defense right now?
I think we care about it. You know, I think that's the first
start.
piece. Yeah,
good start.
I think we have people that genuinely care about playing defense, and you know, they love that role. You know, Courtney and Dev have really taken on kind of matching up with the best guards on the other team. And, it's nice being able to kind of switch them back and forth. Obviously, Sierra is a great defender too, but she spends so much time handling the ball. We try to give her a little bit of a break on the defensive end. And I think we just take it personal. And I think that's a big piece of the puzzle. We also understand that, like, in order to go fast, we have to get defensive stops. And so I think that's something we talked about at halftime of our game too. Like, if we want to go, we have to get stops on defense, taking the ball out, letting people set up in their defense, letting people set up in their full court defense. It's going to slow us down.
Ernie's is more than just a gas stop. It's your one-stop spot for fuel, fresh food, and friendly service. With locations across southern Utah, including one right here in Cedar City, Ernie's makes it easy to fill up and fuel up. Don't forget, Ernie's is home of the world-famous chicken strips, a local favorite that keeps fans coming back. Proudly supporting SUU athletics and proudly serving our community. Stop by Ernie's in Cedar City today.
One thing that has been a big point of success for your team this year has been the rebounding. And Ava and Brooklyn, of course, two of the best rebounders, I'd say, in the Western Athletic Conference at this point. The stats back that up as well. How important have those two been in the front court playing together at both ends of the floor?
Well, I think it's similar to, loving to play defense. I think we have some people that love to rebound. And, if you talk to Ava about it, she says it fires her up, it gets her going. There's nothing like flying in for an offensive rebound and just snagging that thing out of the air and going back up with it. So it's fun to watch them work. Rebound has been a priority for us since we came together in the summer. We do a lot of competitive rebounding drills, and so I think it's forced us to be better defensive rebounders, as well as we've had to work harder to get offensive rebounds. And we do drills where an offensive rebound wins the game, or you get extra points, and so we've kind of tried to build that, like, hey, this is important. And so it's fun to see them get after it. And we talked about that at halftime. We were getting out rebounded, and I think Ava definitely took that personal.
Sierra, for you having those two exceptional rebounders, is it nice to be able to just kick your feet up, sit back, relax, and watch them do all the dirty work down low? They've got to get physical, push people around, grab the ball, and you're just kind of hanging out, like, yeah, give me the ball whenever you want to, guys.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll be the get back. You guys got it.
Yeah. When at the offensive end, though, obviously Ava and Brooklyn have also been tremendous scoring the basketball this year. For you as a point guard and the leader in assists on this Southern Utah team, what has it been like playing with those two and their ability to score?
It definitely puts more pressure on our defense again. Like, having 5 people on the court that can all score is great for our offense, and knowing that we can get it into the post, get into our split action, and then we can score off of our guards and our posts as well.
Gotcha. On the pregame side, this was another Pizza Hut, Pizza My Mind question that came in. I've got 2 for you, Sierra, if that's okay. First of all, do you have a pregame ritual? We heard Coach's last time she was on here for the show. It's all about the blue gum. Right? Mm-hmm. The blue gum has to be there pregame. Do you have any ritual? Advit's always on top of it. Do you have any rituals, anything you've got to do before the game starts?
Honestly, not really. Just I like having a chunk of time to getting ready, like before we even leave the hotel or I leave my house. But other than that, I don't really have a ritual.
When you get on the court for the first time, right before tip-off, what goes through your head?
I'm usually looking for the girl I'm supposed to be guarding and wondering if I'm on the right side, or wondering if I'm on the right side, if I have to switch with Dev. That's what I'm usually worried about.
So just always dialed into the X's and O's. There's no extraneous thoughts or anything that pops in your mind. It's just the mission that's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Coach, do you like hearing that from your point guard?
I do, because I would probably be like, what did I order for my post-game meal? No, absolutely. She's locked in, and it doesn't surprise me that she doesn't have a pre-game ritual, because I think Sarah's she is who she is. She shows up, she's ready to go every single day.
How does that set the tone for the rest of the team when it's the starting point guard that acts that way?
Yeah, I think she's been a huge leader for us this year, and I think it started from when she got here in the summer. We voted on captains, and her team all recognized that. I think they all look at her as a captain, and she's kind of I always say she's just our poised leader. She doesn't get too high, she doesn't get too low. She just stays calm, which you love in a point guard. You just love that, and she just keeps us going.
Got the stormtrooper reaction, right?
Yes.
It's just the same mad, sad, angry, frustrated, happy, elated. It's all just one expression.
And in Sierra's defense, she doesn't get to go rebound on the offensive end because she's our get back. So she does a great job. She is kind of like the anchor of our defense, I guess, in a sense, because she is getting back in transition and she's got to point and talk and tell everybody where to go. And she's been really good at that. We love her in that spot. And like Dev usually tries to pick up the ball, Dev or Courtney. And so the two, like having those people in those spots that they're really good at, I think has been really good for our defense.
You've played, is it 8 conference games now and won 5 of them to this point? Obviously still a decent ways to go. But from the start of the season to now, where do you feel like this young team has really grown the most?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're learning from every game, which is awesome. We're still, I think we still have a lot to learn. But you look at, I mean, even the CBU game, obviously it stinks to come out on the losing end of that. But I think so many things that I know as a coach I learned, and I think as a team we learned. And so I think for us, like, we just want to be playing our best basketball by the time the season is over. And we're staying hungry, we're staying competitive, all of those things. And this is a team, I think, that holds themselves to a really high standard. You know, they're upset, obviously, when we lose, but even if we win and we don't play well, like, they can recognize that, which, I mean, as a coach, you love that. You know, your team has high expectations for each other.
Where do you feel like is going to be the biggest area of growth over the next several weeks?
I think handling, the pressure that we're going to see defensively from different teams. And then figuring out ways to score, ways to, whether it's, we're running a set because there's a mismatch or it's working organically within our offense. And I think when our offense is moving and we are movers, like, we are really hard to guard. And so I think if we can focus on that, I would love to continue to go in transition. But I think, like I said, people are going to try to slow us down. So we got to just be super aggressive in the half court.
Any final thoughts on the last couple of weeks and the last 2 games before we look ahead to the upcoming homestand?
Yeah, I think, I'm proud of this group and I'm proud of where we're at. I think we have to continue to be hungry and keep working. And, I joked around with them after practice and I was like, we're not out of this. And they all look at me like, Coach, we know that. Like, come on. So, I mean, this is a group that they expect to win, and I love that. That's kind of what you want as a coach, and I think our preseason has set us up for that. I think it's the people that we have on our team. Like, they're just winners, and winning is the norm, and, losing stinks. And so I think they go into everything confident, motivated, and they want to win.
Couple of games upcoming this week at home, Thursday, Saturday, regular rotation, 6:30, or is it 6:30 on Saturday as well?
No, 2 on Saturday.
2 o'clock on Saturday, 6:30 on Thursday at the AFEC. Make sure you all get there this week. But UT Arlington and they're both purple schools from Texas.
Abilene.
They're the same.
Yep.
They're one and the same. How different can they be, really? But let's start with UT Arlington, a team you beat on the road earlier this year. That was it's a tough place to go win. Coach Wright is one of the best in the conference. She does such a good job. Had her program in the conference championship game a year ago. Now you get a second look at them this week. What are the biggest keys going into that game?
I thought we played well out there. I think we came out with a ton of energy. We were able to get some stuff in transitions there, so that was fun. I think understanding our personnel who we're guarding. They're a very long team, very athletic team. So I think paying attention to the scout being locked in and how we're defending and defending as a team. We got to have we can't put anyone on an island. It's not a one-on-one game for us. It's being a great team defensively.
Sierra, what do you remember about that UT Arlington game and what it took to get a win at their house?
I think just being aggressive and matching their physicality. I think we just need to be as aggressive or more aggressive as them and just pushing the ball up the court too. I think will be really important for us this next game.
When it comes to smiles, Thunderbird fans know who to trust: Webster Orthodontics, the preferred orthodontist of SUU Athletics. They're the reason Thor the Thunderbird has that beautiful game day grin, and they can do the same for you. Whether it's braces or Invisalign, Webster Ortho provides personalized care and outstanding results, proudly supporting SUU Athletics and our community. Visit WebsterSmiles.com today to schedule your consultation. Webster Orthodontics. Show off that Thunderbird smile.
Yeah, very big, very talented team. I think their slow start to conference play has surprised a lot of people. I know it's surprised me as well. It seems like they're starting to put it together a little bit more as the weeks go along. But, Coach, I did want to give you the chance to share one of my favorite stories that you told me from last year when Avery Brittingham checked in at the scorer's table. Do you remember this?
Oh, yes.
Inside the AFEC.
She was like, "Coach, I like your outfit."
You
or
had
something like
it was
that.
it was the Power in Pink game here at the AFEC, and you were wearing a pink jacket, and you were locked in. You were heated about something, which is a rarity, of course, for coaches.
Yeah,
but
never happens.
you were locked into the game, and she went over to check in at the scorer's table, and she just looked at you and said, "Coach, I love the jacket." And you were just taken out of the game for a moment and just had a laugh because you had
catch me off
because
guard.
you had a bright pink
Yes.
jacket on. She just loved it. She said that, and then she checked into the game. It's one of my favorite stories. But I bring that up to say she's been there for the last couple seasons with the Lady Mavs, has moved on with her eligibility having run out. But how different are they from the teams they've had in the past without her kind of at the center of what they do?
Yeah. I mean, she was just someone that you knew was going to go make a play. You know, she was kind of unassuming at times, but she was really good. And then you added Coy Love in that group that they had last year, and just two really, really dominant players. I think they have really good pieces. I think they have the pieces to be really successful. And like you said, I think they're starting to figure it out. They obviously have three sisters that are playing together. So, you know, different dynamic there. But yeah, I mean, we have to be locked in. I think this is a team that's capable of beating anyone in this conference.
Talk about Abilene Christian on Saturday as well. When I talk to folks that cover the WAC, they look at Abilene as the team to beat with everybody that they've got. What makes them such a tough matchup?
Yeah, they're just very good at what they do. You know, I think they have players that all of them can score. They're just really solid defensively. I would say overall just a very, very solid team. You can't take anyone lightly. You know, you think you can help off this person or not worry about that person, and they end up going off. And so they just have a really solid team. Very fundamental. You know, they do what they do. They're good at what they do. You can tell they're bought into what they do. And so they were the first team that I feel like really gave us trouble in the press. And so that's something that we're going to look at and make sure we're ready to go.
Sierra, in that Abilene Christian game on Saturday, going back to the first matchup, what has to change the most from that one to this one for you guys to come out with a win?
To start, I think working on our press too and bringing the ball up the court and then getting to our half-court motion from there. And I think another thing we did talk about was getting stops and then going in transition from there. So I think that can also be a key component for us.
Coach, any final thoughts on the homestand before we wrap with our student spotlight here on the show?
No, I mean, I think it's what we talked about, just being ready to go, understanding the importance of the opportunity to play at home and taking advantage of that, and being locked in on the scout and focused on being the best version of us we can be.
Have you felt the weirdness of the conference schedule? Yeah, obviously you haven't played a team for a third time at this point in the calendar, but the back and forth of, you know, Thursday you're in Orem, and then Saturday afternoon you're playing in like that's such
and
a quick
like we've already played Utah Tech twice at home. Like that just seems strange.
Yeah,
but
has the strangeness of all that settled in for you guys?
A little bit. And you know, just like I said, you're watching games and you just see like there's some heated games going on, and now to think, oh, and we get to play each other one more time.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's interesting for sure.
And maybe another time down. You're going to play someone for a fourth.
For a fourth
time, and I don't think you can play someone a fifth time. No, but every team you play in Vegas, you'll be playing for a fourth time in the same season, which is very unique. So that brings us to our visit Cedar City Brian Head Student Spotlight. That, of course, is Sierra Chambers. Everyone knows your name at this point. When you're the starting point guard for the Thunderbirds, I'm sure you get recognized all over town, everywhere that you go. I am dead certain that happens, whether it does or not. But start with where you're from, why you chose Southern Utah, what your major is, what you want to do after school, and then we'll go from there.
I'm from the Bay Area, California, and I chose Southern Utah because I love the community. I love the coaches. When I came on my visit, I enjoyed spending a lot of time with the girls, and I honestly wanted to play basketball here. What was the last question again?
What are you studying in school, and what do you want to do after college?
I'm studying finance right now, and I'm unsure what I want to do after college.
Is basketball a consideration of yours for post-college plans?
Yeah, a consideration.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Besides, of course, wonderful Cafe Sabor, who we're grateful to for hosting us here for the Coaches Show every week, what are some of your other favorite places to eat in town?
Besides Cafe Sabor, Chipotle.
Just those two?
I don't know the name of the place, the pho place. What is it called?
Oh.
What is it?
Benisa's?
Bonistas? Yeah.
I actually haven't been there before.
That place is pretty good. I also like Kabuto.
Kabuto.
Those are like my favorite.
Kabuto solid. Kabuto very, very solid. I'm a big sushi guy. I'm probably gonna be having some actually later tonight. But when did you first start playing basketball, and when did you decide I want to be a college basketball player?
I started playing, I want to say maybe 3rd or 4th grade, and I just started playing because my older brother played and I wanted to be like him. But I think I just liked being competitive and playing on a team, and I think I grew up playing basketball and soccer, and I like basketball a lot more than soccer. And then I knew I wanted to play college probably in 8th grade or 9th grade, around that time.
That's awesome. How many siblings do you have?
2, just 2.
One older, one younger?
One older, one younger.
What is it like being a middle child?
It feels like sometimes I'm forgotten about.
I say the same thing.
Are you a middle child, Coach?
Yeah.
It's a real thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's a middle child. It's very,
forgot.
it's a very real thing. But having an older brother, Sierra, someone who had an older brother as well, how did you feel like that prepared you to play college basketball?
I think especially with just brothers in general, they get really mad when like they try to say something to get a reaction, you just don't do anything back.
Yes.
So I think that has helped me the most, like when people try to like get a reaction out of me, I just don't really say anything to them.
So you've built up thick skin, is what you're saying. I used to go against my older brother and all his friends, and then I go against kids that were my own age, and I thought, well, this is easy. You guys are kind of as big as me, though. I was usually the shortest person on the court. But what have been your favorite parts about coming here to Cedar City for your college experience?
Just meeting new people, becoming best friends with the people on my team, and I think we spend so much time around each other, so I think it's really fun just to be close with everyone on your team. Like the closest people, like my best friends in Cedar City are on my basketball team.
Which is exactly the way it should be, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. What have been some of your favorite activities to do since you've come to Cedar City?
We don't do it as much this year, but last year we hiked a lot and we did a lot more outdoorsy things, but we haven't really done much this year yet.
Do you have a hike that has really stood out to you as, your favorite one so far?
I like Cedar Breaks, yeah. We did it as a team over the summer, so it was pretty fun, but I like it because it's easy too.
Yeah, because you're notably not in the best shape. I mean, you're only playing 33 and a half minutes a night. It's not even 35 yet statistically on the year. It's just, I understand that completely. What is it about this team? Coach talks about it all the time. Other players have mentioned it as well, but just how tight-knit you all are and how well you all truly get along, and that translates onto the court. Obviously, you guys are having a good season so far. What is it about this group that you think really just clicks?
Obviously, we have good chemistry like off the court, but I think in practices we can like really go at each other and be competitive and then be okay right after practice. Like I think we keep basketball and like our personal life separated. So like once practice is over, it's over, and then we go back to being friends.
Who's the most competitive person on the team?
Ava.
Coach?
I'd say Ava for sure. Or Brooklyn.
I'd probably have to say Ava too.
But you whispered it into the mic so that you wouldn't
I think
hear.
they're all really competitive. They're all listening.
Yeah, which is a good thing. All right, Sierra, going forward, what's maybe one goal you have for yourself and one goal you have for the team for the rest of the year?
One goal I have for myself is just having a better assist to turnover ratio. Like it's always one of my goals to have a lot of assists and not like any turnovers every game. So that's probably the stat I look at the most. And for the team, just like keep winning. Yeah, that's what I would say. Just win.
Keeping it very simple. Coach, we wrap the show today, as always, with shout-outs. You can start, and then we'll go back to Sierra. Anybody and everybody that you want to shout out to wrap today's show.
I want to shout out all of our parents, because I am blessed to have some amazing girls that I get to work with, and I think their parents have done an awesome job. And they're supportive. And they raise great kids, so I'm pretty lucky.
That was awesome. Sierra, anybody that you want to shout out to wrap today's show?
Everyone who comes and supports us at our game, all the fans, and my family.
Keep
as well
doing
at
that.
home. Yeah.
Yes.
My family at home and everyone who supports me back at home.
Have your parents been able to come and watch you play here yet?
Yeah, they came earlier this year, and they'll actually be here this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're not stuck with me too often.
No.
I'm off the rails over there. That'll do it for our coaches show today. For Sierra Chambers and Coach Mason, give them a hand, folks, and thank you all for being here. As always, I'm Spencer McLaughlin. We'll see you next time, and until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.